Hey everyone, Kyle here. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain a little bit. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and so much more. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.fm. They'll have everything you need all in one place. I can speak from my experience. It's been awesome so far and super easy. So go check it out, guys, and we'll see you later. Welcome, everyone. This is Our Travel Experiences. I'm Kyle Rasmussen, and today I have with me my friend Jessica. Jessica, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Excited to talk about your travels. I know you've traveled quite a bit, so I'm sure you got lots of stories to tell. So I'm excited for it.
Yes, I definitely do.
Awesome. So before we jumped on here, you were telling me you've been to how many countries?
About 15, probably.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All over different continents, or?
Primarily Europe. I spent 6 months studying abroad in Italy and traveled every weekend there. So I got a lot of, I would say 12 are in Europe, 12 to 13, and then I've been to Mexico and Canada.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
What part of Italy did you study abroad in?
Florence.
Okay, nice. Florence is such a cool city.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'm biased to it. I love it. It's my favorite for sure.
Lots of good wine there.
Yes, and food. The food's incredible.
Oh, yeah. What was your kind of favorite spot there in Florence?
In Florence? We always went to this place called Piazza di Michelangelo, which is up on the hill, and it looks over the whole city. So probably that. We'd go up there, drink wine, eat cheese and salami, and just have fun. So.
Yeah. Did you watch the sunset up there? Yeah. I did that when I was there. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it looks over everything. So definitely one of my favorite places. But I have a whole list of places in Florence. We did the top of the Duomo, which I think everyone needs to do if they're there. It's a lot of stairs, but it's definitely a good experience.
It's pretty cramped, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tiny. Yeah, like if you're claustrophobic, don't do that.
Yeah, I know. They said we could do it when I went on a trip there, but I didn't have time to get it done. But I would have liked to. Yeah,
it's definitely something you need to plan ahead for too. And I was there pre-COVID, but we had to book our tickets out in advance and everything. So it's definitely something you want to plan ahead for, but it's definitely cool.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So was Italy your favorite country you went to?
Ooh, that's tough. I love Italy, and definitely one of my favorite places. I think my ultimate favorite place was Greece.
Greece.
We spent some time in Santorini, specifically in Ia, which for me is sister to the Traveling Pants, was filmed there. So that was super exciting, and it was beautiful. It was totally what you would see in movies and on TV, and so I loved Greece and I loved Ireland. I spent my spring break in Ireland, and that was super fun. But between Italy, Greece, and Ireland, those were my tops for sure.
Okay, cool. What was it like in Santorini?
Just white buildings, blue roofs, built into a hill, looking over the ocean. We had this super cool Airbnb that had a hot tub that looked over the whole ocean. I got there and I was like, this is exactly what the movies make it look like.
Yeah.
So, definitely just like that, and a fun environment, and everyone's just happy, and so we did that, and we rode horses through a village that you couldn't drive through.
Oh wow.
Which was really cool. I'm terrified of horses though, so that was
really?
a little bit scary, but that was one of my favorite trips. I did that with two of my best friends, and it was super fun.
Nice. Did you get to go to Athens and all that too?
So we flew into Athens, and then stayed the night there, but flew in late, and then flew over to Santorini. And then we were flying back to Athens to spend a day there, and we got notice from the embassy that there was something going on there that I don't even really know what it was, a riot. So they were we recommend you not stop. Yeah. So we just ended up going all the way back to Florence. But Greece is definitely on my list to go back to. I want to island hop a little more and see different places. So
how many islands do they have?
That's a good question.
Quite a bit, isn't it?
There are. I definitely, like, there's, like, a couple that I definitely want to go to, but I want to go so many places in Europe still.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Greece was really cool. Ireland was just what you'd expect. Like, everyone was happy and cheersing and just totally fun environment.
Some good beer there.
Yeah, definitely. We did, like, the Guinness factory and everything.
Oh, man.
So that was super fun.
I'm jealous. That's a bucket list item for me.
Yeah, it was cool.
What else did you do there? Were you just in Dublin or?
No, so we did Dublin, and then we went to the Cliffs of Moher for a day, which was incredible. I think that everyone needs to do that. And then Galway. Okay,
where's that? Somewhere in Ireland.
It's not my specialty. It's just kind of like a smaller little Irish town and stuff. But it was super cool. It was like cobblestone streets, everyone was just, so it was really cool. But Dublin was fun. We spent the majority of the time there, like Galway and the Cliffs of Moher, we were only there for like a day. So, yeah, but Ireland was definitely cool too.
Yeah, I haven't got to go to Ireland yet, and I need to do it one of these days.
Yeah.
That's definitely towards the top of my list.
Yeah, it was definitely cool. I'm glad we did it.
Where else did you go that you really liked?
Okay, let's see. We did... Oh, here, I actually have it on here. Let me just pull up my whole little...
I think that's the fun thing about traveling a lot is you have to search through and remember all the things you've done.
Yeah. So in Italy, I went to Florence and Rome, and we spent some time in Vatican City, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then we did Lucca, Sicily. Sicily was super cool too. And then Venice, Cinque Terre, and Pisa. Venice and Cinque Terre were just incredible too. There's nothing quite like Venice. I don't think you'll ever find anywhere like Venice. So that was definitely cool to see, and I did that one with my family. And then Cinque Terre I did with my family too. And that's just like all these colorful buildings,
Yeah, such a beautiful place.
Yeah. So those were like really cool. I definitely want to go back to Italy and just spend a lot of time like in Italy and different places. Like I want to go to the Amalfi Coast really bad. But I knew when I was studying abroad that like there were certain places I wanted to go at that age, and I would probably want to go when I'm older. So I planned everything before I went, just so I was like, this is where I'm going. I know I want to do these things at this age. So then we did Switzerland, specifically Geneva. I really want to go back and ski in Switzerland. My family has done that when I was younger. And then Greece, and then we did Hungary, specifically Budapest, which was probably my least favorite place, surprisingly, because it was the place I was most excited to go to.
Yeah, why was it your least favorite?
I went on a school trip, like the school planned it, so I think that probably was part of it. But my whole thing was when I was in Europe, I loved finding the little European cities, things about like Florence and even Rome, the small streets, and I just didn't really feel like it was that feeling. It was more big city. And that's how I felt. I went to Madrid later, too, and I felt the same way there. But we had an exchange student when I was younger from Madrid, so we saw him and his family, which made it super special. But we did Germany, which we went to Munich, which we also have family friends there, so we stayed with them, and they gave us, like, the total local,
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it was so fun. Germany was great. I'd love to go back there for Oktoberfest. And then we did Scotland, specifically Edinburgh. We got stuck in what they call a code red blizzard there.
Oh no.
And couldn't get out. So that was interesting, but super fun. That was part of our spring break trip. And then I did Portugal, which I went pretty much all throughout Portugal. So I did Lisbon, Porto, Fatima, Cabo da Roca, which is the closest point to the United States, and then Sintra. So that was fun. I was there for about a week and a half, I think, and Portugal was beautiful. And then, like I said, Spain. And then I did France, and we did Paris, which was super fun. Just one of those, like, incredible cities, you'll never see anywhere else. And then London. So, kind of did a whole array of different places. Yeah. But it was super fun and cool. So yeah.
How long did you spend in each place? Was it pretty quick, or did you stay for an extended period of time?
Most of them were just like a long weekend. So how my program was set up is we didn't have class on Fridays. So we'd leave Thursday night and we'd come home Sunday. So most of them were Thursday or even sometimes Wednesday through Sunday. And then Portugal, I was there for quite some time. Ireland I was, and then trying to think. I think I was in Paris for about 4 or 5 days too. So, yeah, it was definitely cool and one of those like you'll never get back experiences.
Yeah.
So I'm super glad I did it when I did it. But yeah, I'm itching. I went back after I graduated from college, so in 2019 that summer for 2 weeks, in Italy and London, and it was fun to go back. But I'm itching to go back again.
Yeah. Where would be the first place you would go when you go back?
Probably Florence.
Florence.
Yeah, I would say like out of everything I've listed and said, Florence is my favorite. But I think it's just because I lived there and we lived in what they called pensiones, which were like dorms, but we had like a host family that fed us and took care of us, and we had the sweetest little host mom. So last time I was there, I saw her, and just go to the places like, oh, I studied there, I did my laundry there, so probably Florence, and then I really would like to just kind of dive into Italy in general. Hit the Amalfi Coast, even do some of like the wineries and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I hope to do next.
Yeah. Yeah. When you were in Florence, did you get out into the countryside there in Tuscany?
I did, and I definitely want to go out in Tuscany and see all of that because I've heard it's incredible. So that's but that's also something I was like, I don't really know how much I'll appreciate that at age 19 versus when I'm out of college. So I kind of want to save that for a time when I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to really appreciate this and dive into this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, so you mentioned you kind of plan for places that you like would enjoy at your current age.
Yeah.
How do you kind of go about that research?
I've always loved to travel, and I've always known I've wanted to do it. I think I had a lot of fear that kept me from doing it in early college, and so I went to Gonzaga University, and I chose Gonzaga because of their study abroad program. So I knew at a young age I wanted to do it. And I just think through the years, watching movies or seeing things on Instagram or different things like that, I kind of kept a list of like, I want to see that. I want to see this, landmarks. And then I checked the weather and, kind of just tried to piece it all together. And also studying abroad, I was on a pretty tight budget. So, finding, Greece is going to be cheaper to go this time of year versus that. And I'm super type A, so it was pretty easy for me to do. But I think over the years, and like if you look at my notes on my phone, I have, next places I want to ski, next places I want to do this, next places. So I kind of always have like an ongoing, what I would consider a travel bucket list.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many things to see in the world, in the United States.
That's for sure.
It's like I can think one day and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that place, you know? So, yeah, that's kind of how I did that. But and then I researched, like where to stay and like for people my age. And I had 2 of my best friends studied abroad with me, which made it super fun. So it was kind of the 3 of us. And then we made a really good friend while we did it. So the 4 of us kind of it was like us against the world, it felt like. So...
That's always good to have, other people to travel with.
Yeah, it's fun. One of my best friends loves to travel, so we travel a lot together, and we're just kind of on the same page, and it's always fun. Always an adventure, and we always get ourselves into some sort of trouble.
Those are one of the best memories I made.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
When you were, doing the long weekends, did you stay in hostels or Airbnbs?
We did mostly Airbnbs.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't do a hostel, and I think we did a couple hotels, but mostly Airbnbs because there was like 4 of us, and we were just like, well, we can split 2 rooms, Because some of the hostels are pretty expensive. You don't even realize it. And so, we found some pretty good Airbnbs and just figured it out. So there were times I was like, this is probably not the safest thing to do, but that's how you learn.
Yeah, definitely. I know I personally, when I traveled in college, I went to the hostels mostly. Never really got into the Airbnb thing. I really should check that out, because I think there's some good things there. But
yeah, Airbnb I always like being able to like be like, oh, I can like make myself coffee in the morning, or, you know, make myself breakfast or have a snack, or pregame before we go out. So that was kind of our big selling point, was just having our own space. And we didn't have washers and dryers in Italy when we lived there, and some of these did, so it was like a luxury. We can do our laundry. So yeah, that was our kind of experience with it. But I know a ton of people and a lot of acquaintances that have done the whole hostel thing, and they've had a ton of success and really like it. And there's like a lot of fun ones for people our age, and so
there's some crazy ones out there. I know I went to I was in Melbourne in Australia, and there was the hostel I was staying in had a like 6 or 7 seat like movie theater in it.
That's so cool.
It was crazy. It had like a rooftop pool and bar and everything. I was like, how is this a hostel?
That's a selling point for the hostels.
But some of them are not as nice for sure. But so what are some of you mentioned you have a list there. What are some of the next places?
Well, right now I'm totally in the skiing mindset because of the time of year. So right now I really want to ski Aspen, Jackson Hole, Park City, and McCall. Okay. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I'll get to them this year, but hopefully, you know, coming soon. If we're talking United States, want to go to Nashville so bad. So that's definitely on the top of my list. I actually had on my list New York, but I just went there 3 weeks ago. So that was really cool. Or no. Sorry, beginning of December. I feel like we're still in December. So early December, because I'd always wanted to see the Christmas and all that in New York. So we had it scheduled for last year, and then COVID kind of ruined that. So we went back this year, which if you've never done that is quite the production. It makes you feel the magic of Christmas again, for sure. So
did you get to skate at the Rockefeller Center?
Yeah, we did that. That was so fun. We went through the Christmas villages. I mean, even just seeing the tree at Rockefeller Center was incredible. So we kind of checked off all those Christmas boxes in New York. So that was super cool. And then I had on here San Francisco and Laguna Beach, which actually this last summer in August, I took a month to drive from Yakima, Washington to Southern California down the Pacific Coast Highway. So I'd never been to the Oregon coast, which is super random because it's really close to us. So we did the whole Oregon coast, and then we went into California, and we ended up staying in Crescent City, which is quite an interesting place. Just because it was halfway between San Francisco and where we were leaving from. So then we did San Francisco, which I'd never been to, so that was really cool, and we did 4 days there. And then
what'd you think of San Francisco?
It was cool. I'm definitely like a small town girl. Like, I like the small town feel. But it's funny because I love LA, but I think I love LA because it's nice weather. So if I'm going to deal with like a city, it better have good weather. And when we were there, San Francisco, like, it was so foggy. Like, you couldn't even see the Golden Gate
so
Bridge.
much fog.
But it was a really cool city. You know, like the really small streets. Have you been?
Yeah.
So it was definitely one of those places like, whoa, like, this is awesome. But so we did that whole coast. You know, we did Monterey, Big Sur, Santa Barbara, LA, Laguna Beach, kind of all of those that whole coast. Big Sur was incredible. Definitely like one of the prettiest drives I've ever done in my life.
I'm jealous. I mean, I've driven up and down California a lot because I went to school in San Diego, but Big Sur, like, whenever I was planning to go there was a couple times I tried to go there, and there would be mudslides or something, and you couldn't go.
So Big Sur was incredible. It was my best friend and I were driving. It was like our longest day of driving. It was like 7 hours. And I think the whole time we were silent because we were just in awe over the views. Like, it was insane. So, and I actually get to kind of go back to that area in September because one of my best friends from college is getting married down in Slough.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of do like a little thing down there, which will be fun. It's Labor Day weekend. So I'm excited for that because I love California. That is probably one of my favorite places in the world. But yeah, so then we did LA for 4 nights, I think, maybe 5, and then went into Palm Springs and kind of finished there. But yeah, that was definitely on my list, was doing the Pacific Coast Highway. And
that's such a beautiful drive.
Oh, it's incredible, yeah. But I really want to go to Bali.
Oh, yes.
And then more of Greece. I want to go to Nice, France, the Amalfi Coast, Barcelona, and Croatia. Those are kind of my European ones.
Cool.
But I'd love to go to Austin, Texas.
That's a fun city.
Yeah, so I've never been there. But I think sometimes, like, I personally forget how much there is in the United States to see, too. So that's kind of like, and with COVID, you know, it's kind of my goal right now is to, like, focus on different areas here that I haven't been to and I want to go to. And there's so much around us here, you know, but I'd love to go to North Carolina, you know, different places like that. So that's definitely kind of like my goal, is to see as much of the United States as I can too, because there's some pretty incredible things here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we're really, really lucky here in the U.S. to have not only like we have very diverse landscapes and everything if you go across the country, but there's so many cool things and different cultures around the country. You can spend a long time traveling around the U.S.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so, yeah, I would, you know, I've been to Washington, D.C., but eventually make my way back there.
You could spend forever just going through all the museums there.
Yeah. So just kind of like see where I end up next and where I find myself adventuring next.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was just in Austin a couple months ago. I would say, thinking about planning for age, like, now's a good time to go to Austin.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's like perfect timing right now. So
definitely a lot of young people moving there, up and coming city.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Definitely, yeah. So hopefully I'll check out Austin soon.
Yeah, definitely recommend 6th Street for all the bars.
Okay. Good to know. I will.
It's just bar after bar on that one street.
Perfect.
Good way to catch COVID is just go hang out on 6th Street.
Exactly.
So what's been one of your favorite U.S. travels? Or where would you say your favorite city is that you've been to in the U.S.?
Ooh, that's tough. Probably my favorite U.S. trip was the road trip down the Pacific Coast Highway, because it's just one of those experiences. I'm like, you know, early, mid-20s, you're with your best friend, driving the Pacific Coast Highway, like, just kind of like what I'd always dreamed of doing. And most of my friends from college are in Southern California, so we got to stop along the way and see different people, which was super fun. And
I think, sorry to interrupt there, I think it's always fun to have, you know, people that you know in other locations.
Yes.
That way, one, you can possibly stay with them and save some money there, but it's just nice to have that local kind of perspective.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I love LA. LA is super fun. I love San Diego. So probably West Coast, those are my favorites. Love New York. There's something like so magical about New York. But if I was to pick somewhere to travel to for the rest of my life, it'd probably be Sun Valley, Idaho. I grew up going there and skiing there, and I just love it. Every time I go there, I'm like, oh, this is like so, so my place. So, yeah, I love Sun Valley. It's a super cool place. If you've never been, I highly recommend.
Good skiing there?
Yeah, really good skiing.
Cool.
Yep, and fun, and just a fun little town. You know, it's not like, probably not the best place for people our age, because it's not like, there's not a ton of bars. There's like 3 bars, I think. But it's just like a super fun environment, and like, ton of skiing, and
just kind of like a ski resort type of thing. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Definitely, yeah. So
I'm gonna have to get into skiing one of these days.
Yeah.
I snowboarded a few times back in the day and never got into it. but I'd like to try again now that I'm older.
Yeah, it's one of those things I'm like so happy my parents like got us into at a young age, because now I'm like, there's so many cool places you can see just from skiing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely been a perk. But yeah, Sun Valley's gorgeous. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So going back to some of the researching, is there anything that you, like, as you're researching, like, you try to rule out, like, in terms of locations or things you want to do or see? Anything that you're like, no, I don't want to do this?
Not really. Not that I can think of. I think my number one thing is, like, my parents are always like, okay, be safe. So, like, finding, like, a safe place,
it's always good.
But, I mean, I kind of think your best, like, memories and your best lessons come from, like, when you just kind of wing it. And you're like, oh, my gosh, that ended up being so fun. Like, this last May, I met 4 of my friends from college and one of my best friends from home in LA. And I hadn't really been there as an adult other than, like, just passing through.
Yeah.
And we all met there for my birthday, and it was one of those trips where it's like, oh my god, what happened? Like, we had so much fun, you know what I mean? And it was just like, nothing was planned. We like stumbled across this little Mexican restaurant that had like happy hour margaritas, and like, we just like didn't have anything planned, you know, and we just kind of went for it, and it's turned out to be like one of my favorite cities, and I've been back twice since, and one of my favorite trips, just because.
Yeah.
So I don't really think, I think for so long I have been type A my whole life, that travel sometimes is like, okay, I don't have to have everything planned. Like, sometimes that's the best.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've tried to definitely like relax more on that. But I mean, if I'm going to go to Europe, I'm probably going to like have it a little more planned out than just going 2-hour flight away. But yeah, so I don't really think, like, as of right now, I don't really have anything that deters me from going somewhere. Because I'm young, I don't have anyone else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm just going for myself, we'll figure it out. Like,
yeah, it makes it way easier to plan.
Definitely. So I think, if anything, like, something that maybe controls my travel and my decisions is more of like, am I going to want to do this when I'm 50 or 40?
Yeah.
And am I going to be able to do this when I have kids? No. So why would I not do that now, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing in, like, when I'm determining where to go. But other than that, I'm like, I'm still down to go to, like, Sun Valley, which is a total family town, you know? So, yeah, that's kind of my thing, but, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was thinking about things you wouldn't do with kids. I bungee jumped in New Zealand, and I still remember thinking about it at the time. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this now.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I'm never going to do this again if I have, you know, a family that's depending on me.
Exactly.
So I totally get that. Have you done a lot of, it sounds like you've done a lot of solo trips or just with a few friends?
Mostly with friends, yeah.
Okay.
That's been kind of my big thing. I just spent November in Palm Desert. My grandparents have a place there, but my family was in and out of there throughout it all. So I'm not opposed to traveling alone, but I also think, like, while I have friends that'll do it with me and can.
Yeah.
There's something special in that. But yeah, so.
Have you done any, like, group tours?
So when I studied abroad, our first trip was opening tour with Gonzaga, and that was in Rome. So it was like all 150 of us, I think. And
oh, wow.
They split us up into like tour groups, and it was very well planned. They did a really good job. And they put us up in a hotel and everything. So I did that, and then Budapest was with like probably 50 of the people from my program. Okay. But other than that, I haven't done any of, like, what is it, Just College, or like those different groups you can do. I haven't ever done those, and I have a couple of friends that have done it and loved it, so I'm not opposed, but.
Yeah. I don't know. I go back and forth on them. I like, for like a place like, actually one I have coming up is Colombia.
Oh, that's cool.
A place where, you know, I wouldn't necessarily like feel as comfortable because I don't know the language at all, and somewhere where I'd like to have a group to help me get around. I love doing those types of tours for that. but like traveling the U.S. or, you know, somewhere like think of London or something like that, somewhere easy. I think not having like a set agenda, not having to rely on the group, that sort of thing. Yeah. It's always nice.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've been. I'm just like, well, like when we went back to Italy and London after graduation, we didn't have any plans. We were just like, we'll see what happens and where we end up. So that was cool. But yeah, definitely, like, I'm not opposed to group ones, but also I think there's so much simplicity in just going with like one or two other people that are all on the same page, you know, and we're like, okay, we'll do this, and that.
It's nice when you have other people that are into the same things as you.
Exactly.
I think that's can be hard sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard like when you're with a group of people. Like I went with a group of people down to San Diego this summer, and my little brother was there, and some of his friends were there, and my friends were there. And it was just way too many people. I mean, we all have different things we want to do, and it just isn't like ideal and my brother and I are super close, but I'm like, he's 21 and I'm 24, you know, we have like the same similar life that we want to live, but different too at the same time. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I gotta ask, what'd you think of San Diego?
I love San Diego. My best friend from home moved down there, and then 3 of like my really good friends from college live there. So it's kind of one of those places. I always say this, I'm like, every time I go there, I feel a little overwhelmed because I feel like I need to like see everyone and, you know, do everything. But it's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the prettiest places. I was actually planning on trying to move there right before COVID hit. Or actually, technically in August, but COVID hit in March. And so I was like, you know, I probably shouldn't move to Southern California without a job with a pandemic going on.
Expensive place to live, that's for sure.
But
I'm always biased to San Diego. Yeah. It's such a great city.
San Diego's super fun.
Did you get out to Coronado at all?
I haven't yet. No, I definitely want to though. I'm going down there, and I'm going to be in California for almost a month in February. So one of those weekends I'll hit San Diego. So I definitely want to see some places I haven't seen before. But so
I always like going out to Coronado Beach, and just walking along the beach there. Yeah. Super nice beach, and kind of watching the sunset. Yeah. Drinking a cocktail at the famous hotel there.
Oh yeah, hotel, is it?
Hotel del Coronado, I think.
Okay, yeah, I've heard a lot about that hotel. That's awesome.
Yeah. Actually, this time of year, actually maybe not now, but I know around Christmas time, you wouldn't think this, but they have an ice rink out front.
Cool. That's really cool.
In the wintertime, so
that's awesome.
That's always fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So any embarrassing stories you want to share?
Ooh. Let me think about this.
Or maybe something unexpected that happened when traveling. Oh, I'm sure there's a lot.
Quite a few of those. I'm trying to think. Well, definitely when we were an unexpected one, we had our whole spring break trip planned in Ireland and Scotland, and we were supposed to go to London for the remainder. And Ireland goes great. Get to Scotland. Scotland's gorgeous. And it starts snowing. And they maybe got like 3 inches of snow. And everything shut down.
Oh,
you
no.
couldn't rent a car. Trains weren't moving. All flights were canceled. And we had this like really cool Airbnb there. So we're like, okay. And we're like, well, we can extend it one night. So we did. Go to the grocery store. It was like the pre-image of what COVID was going to be like. The shelves were empty.
Oh, no.
There was, like, no bread. Like, there's nothing. And we're like, oh, my gosh, what are we going to do? So we find, like, what we can find, and I don't even remember what it was. And there's 4 of us. We go back to our Airbnb. We're like, okay, it's not even snowing that much, but whatever. Like, we'll get out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, you probably know this, but I don't know how much anyone else knows this, is when you fly in Europe, the airlines aren't like here, where it's like, okay, we're going to fix it because of the weather. It's like, oh, you didn't book insurance, so...
Yeah.
You're screwed. And that's what happened. So we lost all of our money on that flight. Had to book a new flight. But at this point, they weren't even, like, saying when we could get out. And we're like, okay, well, we have school. We didn't bring our computers because it was spring break. We're like, what's going on? What are we going to do? So we have this hotel booked in London. We have our flight to London, our flight from London to Florence. So it was this whole disaster, but we ended up getting out. But the Airbnb we were staying at couldn't host us another night because someone was coming in, and we're like, how's someone coming in? Like, we can't get out. But, so we had to move to this other Airbnb, and it ended up being like really sketchy and like
oh no,
not a good place. The heat didn't work. It was freezing. We kept setting the like smoke alarm off. But we ended up getting out, and we flew to London, had a layover there, then flew London to Rome, and had to take the train from Rome to Florence. So it kind of was just an unexpected, like one of those like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah.
I have to really like adjust to this. So that, and then I'm trying to think like if I have anything embarrassing.
Yeah, with the the weather and everything, and when you're traveling, something unexpected is probably going to happen.
I swear every trip there's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's never going to go perfectly or exactly how you planned.
Yeah, definitely not.
I think it's always good to, like, as you're planning, plan in for things to go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And just be willing to, like, adapt to the circumstances because if you can't adapt, you're going to be miserable. But I also think, like, some of my favorite memories come from, like, situations where I'm like, whoa, that wasn't supposed to happen, but, like, what came out of that, you know? So that's always cool and fun. So, yeah.
Okay. Maybe a little bit easier question.
Yes.
Most all-time most favorite memory when traveling?
Probably when I was studying abroad. My whole family came. So my grandpa, who at the time was 85, and my grandma came, and that's my dad's side of the family. My dad, my brother, my mom, and then my mom's parents who were in their 70s. And then my cousin ended up showing up. So it was all of us, and we met in Paris, and it was my dad's birthday, so we had dinner in the Eiffel Tower, and it was just fun. Like, I hadn't seen my family in, 2 or 3, maybe 4 months, and so seeing them, and in Paris for the first time, and then we went to, where did we go next? We did Portugal with them, and Madrid, so our exchange student. We did a lot of Italy. They were there for about 3 weeks. So that was probably, like, my favorite. 'Cause it's, like, right when you're getting to that point, you're like, okay, like, the newness of a new country is, like, wearing off. Like, I miss my family. I miss my friends at home. And then them coming and just, going to all these super cool places. And then having your family there was just special, and seeing places with them. So that's probably, like, my all-time favorite memory. That, and then I think probably when we got to Greece and got out of our, like, taxi and we stepped out and, like, stepped next to the edge and just seeing what, like, it's one of those things where you think back and you're like, whoa, like, I remember that moment vividly. So those are probably 2 of my favorites. And then, like I mentioned earlier, think back to my road trip this summer and just, like, good conversation in the car, like, good music, I think we listened to so many, like, 2000 songs that we hadn't heard in forever, and seeing things you would never see if you just flew somewhere for the weekend, and so those really pop into my head.
Yeah, those sorts of stories are the things that, like, have gotten me addicted to travel. I especially love, like you mentioned in Greece, stepping out and just going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yeah. Like, those kind of breathtaking moments are just incredible. And there's so many. Yeah.
And it's like, you almost crave it. Like, I know that's kind of gotten me into this whole, like, travel thing. It's like, okay, when can I feel this way again?
Yeah.
And, like, when can I see somewhere for the first time again and be like, oh my God, And so, I mean, even this summer when I was in California, you go from the Santa Monica beach to Malibu to San Diego. It's like, they're all different, and they all have different impacts on you, and if different reactions, So that's been, like, super cool just to see and, digest and really appreciate. So,
yeah, for sure. And I think like maybe in times like this where, you know, it's cold out, maybe you're not traveling right now, you look back on those moments and you just kind of warms you up, brings a smile to your face. Yeah. That's the best feeling.
Well, and I also think travel's made me, like, appreciate where I'm from, too. Because, you know, you go to all these places, and, like, I spent a month in August in California and a month in November, and then I come back here and I'm like, the apple orchards, you know, the apple trees.
Yeah.
Like, you start to not realize, like, what you have right in front of you if you don't travel and you don't see new places. And it's just made me be like, wow, like, Yakima's a place I never thought I would be again.
Same.
And I was always like, oh, I'm from Yakima. And I'm like, now I look at it, I'm like, it's actually so beautiful. And there's so many things here that you don't see in other places of the world. So I just think it's important to, like, go see new places because it makes you have, like, a whole new appreciation for where you're from and where you're at.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. You know, I think, too, when people come here from other places and they kind of share their outside perspective with you, it kind of helps you realize, oh, you know, there is a lot of beauty here too. I know I have some good friends from the Midwest, and they moved out here because they fell in love with all the mountains and everything, and I'm like, man, I haven't even, like, hardly explored Washington because I took it all for granted.
Exactly. You know, and I mean, I went to Seattle last week and I was driving over the pass and I was like, oh my gosh, like, there's people that will never see this, you know, and there's something about just appreciating, like, where you grew up and where you're from, because I think every place has something, like, beautiful to offer and something, you know, so I think it's just important to, like, understand that and digest that, and yeah.
Do you feel like travel has made you a better person?
Definitely. Yeah. I think it's, in a lot of ways, it makes you understand, you know, even in the United States, we're all American, but every place you go, there's a different culture, a different, you know, way of life. You go to Seattle, it's different than here. You go to New York, it's different than here. So I just think, like, seeing those different environments and trying to, like, understand why the pace of life is faster there versus, you know what I mean? And just seeing that, I think makes you, like, a better person in general, just seeing the way different people live their lives. And I also think that travel's given me a sense of confidence that I don't know if I would have gotten anywhere else. Yeah. And I think that's made me a better person. So I just think, like, having the confidence to get on a plane and whatever and go to a new city and not know what's next. There's a sense of confidence that I don't know if I would have gotten anywhere else. And I think that confidence has made me a better person, a more sympathetic person, a better friend, you know, a better daughter. So I think that that's been really important. And that's been a big lesson. I've, like, walked away and been like, I was lacking confidence I didn't even know I needed before I fell in love with traveling. Yeah, I totally get that. I'd probably say the same for me too. I think, you know, travel, it forces you into uncomfortable situations. And so you have to figure it out. Well, and I feel like the only way you really grow in life is, like, being uncomfortable. Like, no one's ever going to grow and, like, be comfortable. That just, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately, because I hate being uncomfortable. But I've learned to also appreciate being uncomfortable, you know, and I've had situations from traveling and I've met people and, you know, made friends and that are no longer friends, and, you know, different situations happen, and it's like it all leads you to where you're supposed to be. And I just think travel's really, like, changed the way I look at people and situations and places, you know? Yeah. And it's made me appreciate a lot more. Yeah, for sure. Same here. And I think it's easy to get stuck in a rut if you're, like, just sitting at home for months on end, you know? Like, I'm the type of person, like, okay, let's plan something. Like, let's have something to look forward to, because I don't want to get stuck in that rut where then I'm like, ew, I hate being here. Like, why am I here? You know, it's like, I want to, like, go somewhere and be like, oh, I'm going home. Like, yay, you know? So, yeah, that's... Yeah, I know. Right now, I'm really feeling the kind of stuck in the rut right now. I think it's been 6 weeks since I've like gotten out of Yakima.
I'm definitely itching to to get out.
Definitely.
Which next week I will. So
yeah, that's exciting.
But yeah, no, I think, it's nice to kind of change up, where you're at, location, situation, all of that. Kind of just helps you kind of refresh, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Any tips or tricks for people that are traveling in Europe and, trying to do a road trip along the West Coast or any part of the U.S.?
Honestly, just do it.
Yeah.
I think there's so many like voices in our heads, oh, I'll do it next year. I will, I'll do it sometime in the future. I can't right now with work, or I can't right now with my schedule, or I'm tired. I just want to chill.
Yeah.
When I left for my road trip, I left Watershed, which is a country music festival, on Sunday. Came home. I slept Sunday and Monday, and I left Tuesday. We didn't have really any hotels booked. We had one booked on the Oregon coast, and then from there we just booked them, and we just figured out where we were going to go next. I think it's really easy to talk yourself out of it. Like, oh, I don't want to spend that money. I don't want to do this. And I guess my biggest thing, like, I have friends all the time be like, aren't you tired? Like, you're never in one place for long. And I'm like, yeah, I'm tired, but like, we only have this life once. You know what I mean? And I'm only 24 and single and doing this right now. This isn't going to last forever. And I prioritize like spending my money on travel versus like other things. And that's what like brings joy to me. So that's what I choose to do. And so like, I guess my advice would just be to like, just do it. Like, don't let those voices in your head like talk you out of it, because you will figure it out. Like, you're going to find somewhere to stay. You're going to find cool places to go to. You're going to learn lessons, and sometimes they're not the lessons you want to learn. But I think it's important for people to just like fight that like inner like, you can do it later, because you might not always be able to do it later.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Maybe there's a whole pandemic that shuts the world down.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of been like my thing to go by, like with advice, because I'm like, I haven't mastered traveling. Like, if you heard some of our travel stories, you guys would be like, what?
Yeah.
But it's definitely just one of those things, like, you just kind of got to go with it and go with your gut, and you'll figure it out.
I love that you say all of that, because personally, I don't regret any of the money I've spent on travel. I don't regret any of the trips that I've taken.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I know a lot of people who say the same thing, like, oh, I'll do it next year, next month or something like that. And then they never do it. And I feel like, personally, I would just regret missing those opportunities.
Yeah. Well, and I just think, too, that it's easy to convince yourself not to do it. And I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm being selfish because I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But my whole thought on it is, like, if I'm being selfish to, like, make myself a better person and see new places and experience new places, then I don't really think I'm being that selfish. And I guess that's my whole thing, is like, I've realized over the years, like, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you a plane ticket.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like my motto.
That's a good quote.
And that's where I find myself the happiest, is and sometimes it's a 5 a.m. flight because it's the cheapest option, and I'm like, oh, this is miserable. It's 2 a.m. and I'm waking up, But, I mean, I even look back on college and some of my spring break trips with my friends. Like, people are like, you guys are crazy. You're doing that? But those are some of, like, my best memories.
Oh, yeah. So, same.
I mean, you don't ever remember, like, the shoes you bought, Like, so I think that's, like, really important to consider when traveling, and just take the risk and take the leap of faith, and don't let other people like deter you from doing it. I've had like a few people in my life that just haven't seen like my love for traveling, and that's fine, but don't let other people like convince you not to do it. Yeah. No, when I started traveling, I was worried, not having someone else there, doing some solo trips and that sort of thing.
But I was like, I'm never going to get this opportunity if I'm waiting for someone to come with me or, to say it's okay.
Everyone's going to always have something negative to say about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, at least I'm living my life to the fullest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, there's so many great experiences and memories that, you'll hold on to forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus, like the material things, like you said. So, definitely recommend it to everyone. Just do it.
Yeah.
Take the trip. It'll be worth it for sure.
And even like plan a last minute trip, sometimes those turn out to be the most fun too, like, oh, next week, like let's go somewhere, whether that's a 2-hour drive away or a 4-hour flight away, just you'll figure it out when you get there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, anything else that you want to share with the listeners?
Not off the top of my head, but yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for sharing some of your stories, your experiences. I know I really enjoyed listening to everything today. I think that's one of the best part about travel too is sharing stories with others.
Yeah,
which is part of why I wanted to do this podcast.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's super cool.
But I think this is just another thought that I had as I'm writing in my travel book. It can sometimes be really hard to come back and talk with some of those people that haven't traveled and had those experiences. It can be hard to come back because you've changed. You've had all these amazing experiences and they haven't.
Yeah.
And so you kind of relate to them differently. And so I think it's always good to be able to share with other travelers your stories.
Yeah.
Kind of helps you feel better coming back.
Exactly. And just not like you're crazy, because sometimes I'm like, I'm like counting down until I can travel,
right.
my next trip. And it's like, so yeah, definitely a positive thing.
For sure. Well, Jessica, thanks for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll see you somewhere around the world again soon.
Yes, sounds good.
And we'll do this again soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye, everyone. Hey everybody, Kyle here. If you enjoyed today's show and want more, you can always listen to other episodes on Spotify or Anchor. The links are in the description below. If you want to see travel pictures from today's guest and other guests, as well as my own travel photos, you can see them on Instagram. The page is called Our Travel Experiences Podcast. If you want to share your own travel pictures on the page and or share your travel experiences on the podcast, you can message me on that Instagram page or email me at ourtravelexperiences@outlook.com. I would love to hear about your travel experiences and see all the beautiful pictures that you've taken. Thanks again for listening, everyone, and I look forward to sharing the world with you again soon.